database, the results are given back to the client application. Tell me guys, now I'm asking one question there. In Hibernate client application, have you provided any SQL query explicitly? In Hibernate client application, have you provided any SQL query explicitly? Come on, everybody must respond for me. In Hibernate application, have you provided any SQL query explicitly? No. In Hibernate application, we are going to use persistence methods. Java methods we are going to use. Whenever we are using Java methods, no, Hibernate software will convert SQL query on the basis of the persistence methods, on the basis of the persistence object what we submitted, then it able to execute that SQL query by using JDB's API internally, and it able to provide some results back to the client application. That means as a user of this Hibernate, just we are using some persistence methods with the persistence objects, and internally queries are generated, queries are executed by Hibernate software, and results we are getting into the client application directly. Right, so now this is the logic behind what their Hibernate software. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Understood this? Then what exactly that Hibernate architecture, Hibernate internal flow of execution? All of you understand this? Okay. Anyway, forget about it. What are the information here we provided here? Just forget about it. Diagram I given, then some theoretical information also be here I given there, so that you can use this. That's it. Next one is after completion of this total details now. Yeah, exactly. The role of the Hibernate is to transfer to SQL queries based on the persistence method used and executing that SQL queries. Not only transformation, not only translating persistence method to the SQL queries, no. Not only that, executing that SQL queries and giving response back to the respective client. That is the main central point about like what their Hibernate. That's clear, all of you guys? Next one, after completion of this, next one is like what I'm telling to you. Steps to prepare Hibernate applications. Steps to prepare Hibernate applications. What are the various steps here we are going to use to prepare Hibernate applications, guys? Right from very beginning here, we are going to understand that very first one is like what I'm telling to you. Listen carefully. Download Hibernate software from internet. Software in the sense just a jar files only. Guys, previously I said to you, download Spring jar files from internet. Download Spring software from internet. Inside the Spring software, what we downloaded, guys, only jar files or any other set of file? Spring software is what there, only jar files or any other setup? No. Guys, everybody must give response for me. Only what there, no, only jar files. Similarly, Hibernate, download Hibernate in the sense like what they know, only jar files only, not any other one here. That's one thing. Second one is like what there, download and install Java software and Eclipse IDE. Already you have done this step, I think so. Not required to go for this step. Second step is not required explicitly. Okay. Right, sir. This is another one. Next one. After that, What next one here we have to do there? Create Java project and add all Hibernate jar file, Hibernate jar files to the project. Okay, create like what there Java project and add all Hibernate jar files to the project. Then after that, then what we have to do there? Next, to prepare Hibernate configuration file. Okay, guys, observe carefully. Create a Java project and add all Hibernate jar files to the project. Hibernate jar files and database dependent driver jar file. Then both. Right, exactly. Next one after that. Fifth one is like what I'm telling to you. Prepare Hibernate mapping file. Prepare Hibernate client application. Inside this client application, again here we are having some steps. Inside the client application, again we are having some steps there. That steps we are going to understand in the future. Okay, not required now. That steps here we are going to understand in the future. Guys, we forgot one more step there. Inside this, what is that another step here? Download and install database software. Without this, we can't do anything here. Okay. Download and install database software Oracle. Right? Guys, now I'm asking one question there. Out of all these steps, how many steps already we have completed? Come on, guys. I'm asking this question to all of you. How many steps you have already completed out of all these steps? No. Come on, respond for me. Just give numbers there. Give numbers, that's sufficient. I think the two steps already we completed. The second step and the third step. Download and install database software. Download and install Java software and Eclipse IDE. Okay. Right, sir. Then one more thing here I need to prepare now. Here one more point I want to be specify there. Create persistence class. Create persistence class. What class can know? Poso class. Yeah, I forgot even this one also. Create persistence class, Poso class. Then after that, prepare Hibernate configuration file, prepare Hibernate mapping file, prepare Hibernate client application kit. Right. Clear, guys? Now let us start this, the total process kit. Shall we execute this total point now? Shall we start this? One by one here we are able to understand, no? Guys, by the way, I'm asking one question to all of you guys. All of you are getting these notes? All of you are getting these notes? Whatever the notes I'm typing here. Are able to access these notes? Already I've given that link information to you. Okay? Directly the doc file here we are able to get. Don't not required to download immediately. Just we can view that content there. At the end of the course, you can download the total notes. We can maintain that. Right, sir. That's fine. Nice. Now, observe carefully. I want to download that Hibernate. So here, what I have to do there? Google. No, just I want to go for like what there, download Hibernate software. Let me click on it. Okay. Guys, now observe carefully. Now inside this, what I'm telling there, so many things are available here. But anyway, then I want to go for like what there. SourceForge.net is a right website to get all the software there. From this here, I'm able to get it. Okay. Now observe carefully. Right click on it. Open a new tab. Here we are getting some downloads there. Something is available now. Now here at present, just I want to download like only which version here no. I want to download only Hibernate 3. Hibernate 3 only. Here I want to download, guys. I don't want to go for all the versions. Just I want to go for like what there. Hibernate 3. Anyway, then I'm going to show how to prepare applications with Hibernate 3 and 4 and 5 versions here. But I need to go for like what there, Hibernate 3. Whenever we open the SourceForge.net projects Hibernate there, then go to the files. Go to the files here. Inside the files here, what we are getting there, Hibernate 4 is available, but I don't require that Hibernate 4. Here I have to go for like what there, Hibernate 3. Let me click on this Hibernate 3. If we click on this Hibernate 3, here we are having 3.6.10 final. Yeah, only Hibernate 3 version at present here, but by days goes on, I'm going to show like what there, another things also there. Hibernate 4 and Hibernate 5 also I'm going to show there, so that we are able to get some outputs. Now here, let me click on this 3.6.10 final. If we click on it, here what we are getting there, Hibernate distribution 3.6.10 final distribution.zip. Then this is sufficient. Just click on this. Right, so now it is downloading, guys. 59.5 MB, guys. Then previously I don't have this Hibernate content here. Now this I need to wait for downloading the total point. Now it is speed up now. It's downloading. Right, completed, guys. Download is completed. Shown folder here. Now here we are getting like what there. Hibernate distribution 3.6. Final here we are getting. Just let me cut it. Cut it. All softwares I want to keep in E drive. Softwares. Now here, what we have to do there. Frameworks. Hibernate. Hibernate 3. Oh, it's already existed, guys, with me. Hibernate distribution 3.6.10 is already existed with me. It's okay, no problem here. Then this is the file here, what I download. Just right click on it and paste here. If you paste this, here we are able to get it. This is a zip file. This is like what file here we are getting there, a zip file. Right click on it, and if you click on export here, automatically this folder here we are able to get Hibernate distribution 3.6.10 dot final. This here we are able to get. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? This here we are getting there. Try to understand it now. Whenever we are getting this now, then what next one here we have to do there? Open this. Inside this, Hibernate 3.jar is available. Hibernate testing is available. It's okay. Then inside this lib, we are able to have all the required jar files. Minimum jar files are available here. These are the minimum required jar files. Next one, optional and bytecode, CGLib and Java assist. It's okay, not required immediately. JPA Hibernate JPA 2.0 API is required here if you want to get API support and optional. C3P0 like connection pooling mechanism and JBoss cache, proxul, and this cache and all the related things can. Majorly, what jar files can be required here minimum? Required jar files minimum, then after that JPA. These two jar files we require here minimum if you want to work with for a Hibernate. Minimum these jar files here we required. Guys, all of you get my point now? How to download all the jar files here I shown to you clearly. When I record the jar files, there I will use all the content here. But as of now, here we can understand this point. Right, sir. Next one. After that, what next point here we are able to understand there now? Observe carefully. Download Hibernate software from the internet. They are available. Download and install database software not required. Already we have done it. Guys, please say yes or no whenever I'm asking these questions here. Oracle database already installed in our systems there. Already completed JDBC. Then only you are understanding this Hibernate. So for JDBC applications, Oracle software is already existed here. That's okay. Now we have to use this. Next one is download and install Java software and Eclipse IDE. Both are available. Java software and Eclipse IDE both are existed here. That you know. Next one. Inside this, create Java project and add all Hibernate jar files and database dependent jar file to the project. Okay, that we are able to do. Next one. After that, create a persistence class. This we have to understand now. Yes, guys. Then the next point is like what there? What is the next one here? Create a persistence class that we have to understand. Now here we need to understand like what there? Persistence class or object. Both are same. What is this persistence class or persistence object? What exactly the meaning of this persistence class or persistence object? What is the main intention of this? The main purpose of persistence object is to manage persistence data which we want to store in database, comma, on the basis of the persistence data which you want to store. On the basis of this persistence data, we want to read and so on from database and so on. The main purpose of the persistence object is to manage persistence data which you want to store in the database on the basis of the persistence data we want to read data from database and so on. Different operations here we are able to perform. That means, for example, I want to store student into the database table where student ID, student name and student address, all these are like what their persistence data only. Alright, sir. Now I want to retrieve student data on the basis of the student ID. Here I have to specify what their student ID as an input. No, on the basis of the student ID input there, we are able to read. The total data from database. We are able to read all from database. Okay, this is one thing. So I want to perform updations on database now. Then getting new data for the old data, that is persistence data. So on the basis of this persistence data, we are able to perform some other operations. On the basis of the persistence data, we are able to fetch the data. And on the basis of this persistence data, we are able to store the data into the database. So the data which is required to perform database operations. The data which is required to perform database operations is called as what they are? Persistence data. Right, sir. The main purpose of persistence object is to manage persistence data which you want to store in database. On the basis of the persistence data, we want to read the data from the database and so on. These many operations here we are able to prepare about this what their persistence data, persistence object. Right, sir. Next one is in Hibernate. In a Hibernate to prepare. In Hibernate to prepare persistence persistence class, we have to use the following. We have to use the following conventions or guidelines. What are the various conventions or guidelines here we are able to follow there? Now here we have to understand clearly. Point number one, in Hibernate, all persistence classes must be what guys now? Poso classes only. Our persistence classes must be Poso classes only. What's the meaning of this Poso class guys now? Plain old Java object. Plain old Java object. So what's the meaning of this persistence class now? It should not extend or implement any predefined library. That's it. In Hibernate, all persistence classes must be Poso classes. That is plain old Java objects. It should not extend or implement any persistence, sorry, any predefined library, any predefined class or any predefined interface here now. This is the point here we have to understand, guys. Okay, right. Every class must be a POSO class. Except a serializable interface, then anything we should not extend or we should not implement. This is one point. Okay. Next one is after that. Another thing is like what there. In a Hibernate, every persistence class, must be declared as a public. Every class must be declared as what they're public. Why? Because what's the requirement of this public? No. What is the requirement of this public? No. In a Hibernate, in some situations only we are creating objects for the bean components, POSO classes now. But in general, in some other situations, in a Hibernate applications, Hibernate software will create objects. Say for example, when we're trying to fetch data from database table, that fetch data will come to the Java application in the form of persistence object only. So here that fetch data will be stored in the form of persistence object. Understand my point? So because of that reason here, what we required here, no, persistence POSO class is required clearly. Right, sir. Next one is, so in the previous point, what I'm telling there, every persistence class must be declared as public. Why? Because in some situations only we are creating objects for persistence classes. In some other situations, frameworks will do that. Hibernate software will create object for the persistence classes now. But whoever it may be, wherever it may be, whenever we are creating objects for the persistence class, its scope must be required to the respective component. Scope must be required. That scope here we are able to provide. That scope here we are able to provide on the basis of that scope here we are able to provide by using what the public. Because of that reason, every persistence class must be declared as what there a public. Guys, all of you are following these points. What I'm telling to you. Everybody, no response, guys. Guys, all of you there. Okay, try to digest these points. Okay? Just 1 minute. I will come back now. Yes, all of you understand this? Right, sir. Next one is then after that. Point number three. What we are going to understand about this point number three, guys? Now tell me what we are going to see that point number three. Point number two is like what there in Hibernate, every persistence class must be declared as what there public. Right, sir. Now we can understand this clearly. I want to add a few more points. Every persistence class must be declared as public in order to make available persistence class to Hibernate software to create objects. Right. That's the point here I'm telling there. In order to make persistence class, in order to make persistence class available to Hibernate software to create persistence objects. Right. So now this is the main intention of like what they're public. Next one is in a Hibernate, every persistence class must be Hibernate every persistence class must be non-abstract. Why is there? Why non-abstract? No, in order to allow to create objects for persistence class. Answer my point, Kiran. Hibernate every persistence class must be right, sir. In Hibernate, every persistence class must be non-abstract in order to allow the creation of objects for the persistence class. Right, sir. Next, one more point I'm telling you. Understand this clearly. In Hibernate, every persistence class must be non-final. Right, sir. Why non-final? In order to extend one persistence class to another persistence class. In order to non-final, in order to extend one persistence class to another persistence class. In some situations, we are able to extend here. For the sake of reusability point of we are able to extend one persistence class to another persistence class. If it is a case, then that persistence classes must not be declared as what their final. That persistence classes must not be declared as what their final. Right now, these are mainly the points here what we have to understand clearly. Next one, in persistence classes, all properties must be declared as private. All properties must be declared as what they're private. Next one, in persistence classes, in persistence classes, all methods must be declared as public. In persistence classes, all methods must be declared as what they're public. All variables must be private and all properties must be declared as public. Why, sir? Why we are able to declare like this here? What is the reason for it? No, right, sir. Above 5 and 6 steps are able to improve. Guys, I'm asking this question there. Step number 5 and step number 6 are able to improve what? Can you please tell me now? Are able to improve what? Right from core Java class onwards, we are understanding this point here. What we are able to get. Step number 5 and step number 6 are able to improve what? Exactly, encapsulation. Because of that reason only here, we are providing like what there? Private properties and public methods. Okay, right, sir. Next one is after that. Yeah, maximum. See, this is a POSO class in the sense one bean class only. But in general, in the bean classes, we can extend anything. But in POSO classes, we cannot extend any predefined library. That's the main difference. No? Next one, after that. After that, in persistence classes, we must provide a set of set xxx and get xxx methods. In persistence classes, we must provide a set of set xxx and get xxx methods. Set xxx and get xxx methods for each and every property. For each and every property here, we have to provide a separate set methods and a separate get method here. We have to provide for each and every property. Okay. Right, yes. Then next one is like what there? Up to Hibernate, I'm telling there. In persistence classes, if you want to provide any constructor explicitly, if you want to provide any constructor, then provide zero argument constructor. Then provide what there? Zero argument constructor. Why? Because what is the reason for it? Why? Because while creating persistence class object, Hibernate software will search and execute zero argument constructor only. So then persistence class, in the sense that persistence class must be created, but the object must be created through zero argument constructor. Why? Because Hibernate software will search and execute only zero argument constructor. Right. So this is one point now. Next one. If you want to provide our own mechanisms, for creating hash code values, then overwrite hash code method in a persistence class. That depends on your requirement here. What we want to provide that depends on your requirement, but that we have to use clearly. Okay. Next one is after that. Next one is if you want to provide our own comparison mechanisms between POSO classes, if you want to provide our own comparison mechanisms between POSO classes, then we have to override equals method. Then we have to override what method? Equals method. Guys, understand this point clearly? Right. These are the various things here we are able to follow about right, like what they know POSO classes. That means persistence class. We have to provide this clearly. Guys, all of you are following these points, no? All of you are getting clarity what exactly the points here I'm telling to you. Yes. Next one. Here we have to prepare like what there. A POSO class. Example here we have to provide there. Example. Right, sir. Some example here we require there. Right, sir. We can prepare directly inside our content here. So, for example, let me prepare a Java class. That's like what I'm telling there. Employee. Inside this employee here, I'm going to take private into ENO, private string ename, private float, eval, private string EADDR, alt insert. Now here we have to provide like what there. Getters and setters here we are able to select all, enter button. Yes, I don't require this actually. For the sake of your document here, I'm preparing this. That's it. Okay, now just example. Now then I don't want to go for like this employee class. I don't require this even. Okay. All right. Now this is like what I'm telling to you. An example. Then what exactly the code here we are able to provide. The total content here we provided clearly. Right. So now both I'm going to use that. Don't worry for it. Eclipse and as well as IntelliJ IDE both I'm going to use there. Eclipse IDE and IntelliJ both the IDs I'm going to use to prepare these Hibernate applications clearly. Okay. Right, yes. Anything else apart from this? No. Just we completed what their persistence class. How to prepare this persistence class here we are able to provide. Fine. And in the Google Classroom, I send the same class notes link, guys. You can get it. Already, I shared that link information in the Google Classroom also. Please check that. There I given that. Fine. Next one is like what there. Then after that, here we have to go for in the order. What order here we have to provide there? Yeah, then study materials we will send, sir. Don't worry. Now, again, what are the steps here we are using there? Then up to now what we completed here, download Hibernate software, download and install database software, download and install Java software and Eclipse IDE, create Java project and add Hibernate job that we are able to now create persistence class. After these 5 steps, sir, we are getting clarity. Next one is like what there, Hibernate configuration file, mapping file. Then do one thing. First of all, I want to go for Hibernate mapping file. First, I want to do there. Hibernate mapping file. Hibernate mapping file first. Next one is prepare Hibernate mapping file. Next one again. Last one is I want to provide like what the Hibernate configuration file. So we are able to get some order effectively. Okay. Right, yes. These are like what I'm telling you in the content here. Now here we have to go for like what their mapping file. mapping files information here we have to understand. Okay, guys, now we will understand this mapping file content and tomorrow, then mapping file and its related content we are going to understand in tomorrow, right? Thank you guys, thanks a lot, we'll meet on tomorrow.